Hello everyone, how are you guys? If you can see me, if you can hear me, then please mention in the comments in the live chat. Hello to everyone. Yeah, hi Mayuri. Good afternoon. Okay, I'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes, then I'll start the session. Yes, Purnima. Yeah, good afternoon. It's it's good to see the same faces again. Mayuri, Purnima. I think you are regularly following my lectures. Great, great. Shining Star. Yeah, hello, hello. Manikarnika. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Peace lover. I think everybody can hear me and hear me. I think there is some issue from your side. Shri Singh. Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Hello. Archita. Yeah, good afternoon. Okay, great, great. PDF of lecture 2 upload कर दीजिए, ऊपर नहीं हो रही, एरर शो हो रहा है. Okay, I'll ask tech team to look after it. They'll be opening after some time. Priya Singh not audible. I think I'm audible. Mayuri and Purnima, can you please confirm am I audible or not? Yes, all clear, all set. Okay, great, Chetna, thank you so much. Perfect. Okay, so 1 more minute. We'll wait for 1 more minute, then we'll start the session. Ankita, yes. Hi Ankita, yes. Great. Good afternoon. Voice is low. Can you hear? Is it fine now? Okay. Is it fine now? Okay. Great. I think now it should not be low. Can you hear me? Yes. I think the voice is good now. So okay. I'll try to be loud as much as possible. Okay, great. Perfect. Great. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So it's already 3:05. Okay. So yesterday I discussed the basic layouts at how to go about preparing for 2024 attempt and how can you make 2024 attempt as your last attempt. How you can crack it and what preparation do you require, how to utilize the months and how can you optimize your preparation. So that was yesterday what we discussed. So today I would be discussing basically 4 or 5 things. The issue okay, all of your questions I will answer in the end, so please be patient. In the end you can put your questions in the comment section and in the live chat. After the session I will try to resolve all of your queries, right? Okay. So this session is all about how can we optimize our preparation, how can we make more, how can we ensure that we make more output with minimum input. क्योंकि देखो अपन ऐसे ज़्यादा मेहनत नहीं होती है और इतना ज़्यादा एफर्ट, बहुत ज़्यादा एफर्ट डालने की कोई रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है. सो दिस इज़ अबाउट दैट ओनली कि अपने से बहुत ज़्यादा मेहनत नहीं होती है. तो हाउ कैन वी ऑप्टिमाइज अवर प्रिपरेशन, कैसे हम अपने टाइम का बेस्ट यूटिलाइजेशन कर सकते हैं, कैसे हम अपने रिसोर्सेज को मैक्सिमम बेटर वे में कैसे उनको मैक्सिमम यूज़ कर सकते हैं. सो दिस सेशन इज़ ऑल अबाउट दैट ओनली. तो जो भी चीज़ें होंगी कवरिंग फ्रॉम GS1 टू GS4, जो भी चीज़ें हैं वो मैं आज कवर करने की कोशिश करूँगा. नोट्स का मेन रीज़न हमारा ये होता है कि हाउ टू मेक नोट्स. सो टुडे आई विल बी मेजरली फोकसिंग ऑन दैट पार्ट कि हाउ टू मेक नोट्स, राइट. सो नाउ आई विल गो अबाउट इट. Shruti Singh, I think the voice is clear now. Okay, right. So today's session, there are six things which I would be discussing in today's session to give you a brief outlay so that you won't be confused in the session कि हम कैसे चलने वाले हैं. इस सेशन का आज का आउटले है. सबसे पहले तो in the first part I will tell you art of notes making, why it is called art, how to make the good notes and how to utilize the resources to make the notes, right. The first part is that only. Second thing is how to make section wise notes. Section wise notes like society is there, geography is there, governance is there. So I will discuss that one by one, right? Theme based, then there is this theme based preparation. Everybody talks about theme based preparation. What are these themes, how to identify them, and how to go about it, right? Then I will discuss about PYQ based preparation, that how to identify themes from PYQs, how to analyze PYQs, and how to make sure that you cover everything and you do not leave any part of your syllabus, right? So these are the broad things which I would be covering today. This session would be around 1 hour and 1 hour 10 minute long, so around it would be covering 70 minutes. After 70 minutes I would be taking your questions, right? So please be patient till then. If you have any query in between, you can put your doubt here. I'll try to resolve them then and there only, right? So okay, so the first thing is art of making notes. Okay, in the last session I discussed that how to, showed you one slide जहाँ पर मैंने representation of people act है होते हैं comprehensive notes and the other kind of notes are short notes, right? तो कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव नोट्स कब बनाने होते हैं और कैसे बनाने होते हैं, और शॉर्ट नोट्स कब बनाने होते हैं और कैसे बनाने होते हैं, तो वो मैं डिस्कस करूँगा. दैट इज़ कॉल्ड एन आर्ट. तो ये जो नोट्स बनाने की आर्ट है, टुडे वी विल बी लर्निंग दैट कि नोट्स बनाने कैसे हैं. तो वो आर्ट आज हम सीख लेंगे, ठीक है. तो नोट्स बनाने, कोई भी नोट जब बनाते हैं किसी भी टॉपिक का, उसके कुछ कंपोनेंट्स होते हैं. सो द फर्स्ट कंपोनेंट इज़ इंट्रोडक्शन, कि उस टॉपिक से रिलेटेड, सपोज इफ़ यू आर मेकिंग सम नोट ऑफ रीजनलिज्म, तो आपके पास रीजनलिज्म का इंट्रोडक्शन क्या होगा. आपके पास कुछ डेटा है या कुछ उसका इंट्रोडक्शन है जो आप अपने आंसर्स में रीजनलिज्म के यूज़ कर सकते हैं, राइट? तो फॉर द फर्स्ट थिंग इज दैट. सेकेंड थिंग इज कंक्लूजन. सिमिलरली आई कैन प्रिपेयर कंक्लूजन बिफोर हैंड. आप बिफोर हैंड कुछ कंक्लूजन प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं जो आप अपने आंसर्स में यूज़ कर सकते हैं. थर्ड थिंग इज बॉडी, कि आप अगर रीजनलिज्म की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ तो उसमें क्या क्या डायमेंशंस हो सकती हैं, कि रीजनलिज्म है, क्यों है, what are the solutions, what is the way forward, what government is doing, what we can do. These are the various dimensions जो रीजनलिज्म के टॉपिक को कवर कर रही हैं. फिर उसके बाद आता है वैल्यू एडिशन, कि आप रीजनलिज्म में वैल्यू एडिशन क्या कर सकते हो. सपोज यू कैन ड्रॉ अ मैप और आप दिखा सकते हो कि यहाँ पे रीजनलिज्म का इशू है, राइट? यू कैन शो कि बोडोलैंड में वहाँ पर कुछ रीजनलिज्म का इशू है या कहीं और भी कुछ इशू चल रहा है. दिस इज कॉल्ड वैल्यू एडिशन. सो यू कैन सी कि एक कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव नोट जब हम बना रहे हैं तो उसके कॉम्पोनेंट्स ये होंगे. जो भी हम नोट्स बना रहे हैं उसके कोर पे एक ही चीज़ होगी, वो है सिलेबस, राइट? सिलेबस इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, ठीक है. तो जो भी हम नोट्स बनाएंगे विल कीप इन माइंड सिलेबस. तो सिलेबस को देखते हुए सिलेबस में जो जो मेंशन है, उस टॉपिक्स मेंशन है, उन टॉपिक को कोर पे रख के और ये सारी बातें करनी है. तो जो भी बातें करनी है सिलेबस को कोर में रखना है, उसके बाद सारी बातें करनी है. सो दिस इज़ हाउ दिस वर्क्स, ठीक है. सो स्टेप बाय स्टेप आई विल बी डिस्कसिंग कि करना कैसे है, ठीक है. एज यू कैन सी, जो लास्ट क्लास थी, लास्ट क्लास में मैंने डिस्कस किया था. ओके, सो इन माय लास्ट क्लास आई डिस्कस दिस सेलिएंट फीचर्स ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल एक्ट. तो मैंने आपको दिखा दिया था कि कैसे इसके नोट्स मैंने बनाए थे, राइट? लास्ट क्लास में सेलिएंट फीचर्स ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल एक्ट, इफ़ यू रिमेंबर इट, राइट? सो अगर आप देखेंगे तो इसमें भी इंट्रो भी लिखा है, बॉडी भी है, वैल्यू एडिशन भी है और इस सिलेबस का पार्ट भी है, राइट? तो सारी चीज़ें एक नोट में आपको मिल जाती हैं, ठीक है. सो मैंने बताया कि आपको दो टाइप के नोट्स होते हैं, एक होते हैं कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव नोट्स, एक होते हैं शॉर्ट नोट्स. सो फर्स्ट आई विल बी डिस्कसिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव नोट्स, ठीक है. बहुत ध्यान से सुनना है और बहुत ध्यान से समझना है, ठीक है. अगर यहाँ पर आपको कोई भी डाउट आता है, यू कैन पुट इन कमेंट्स सेक्शन, जो लाइव चैट में आप पुट इन कर सकते हैं. ओके, आई विल ट्राई टू स्पीक इन इंग्लिश, ओके, so that the people would be, I think they will be more comfortable. So okay, so I'll be bilingual. I'll try to speak both in English and Hindi so that everybody can understand, right? So this I'm talking about comprehensive notes, right? So comprehensive notes, first section is comprehensive notes, ठीक है. So this is one topic from GS3, food processing and related industries in India, scope and significance, location, upstream and downstream requirements, supply chain management. See, this is food processing and related industries. This is complete one topic from GS3. Now I am supposed to make notes out of it, right? So this, if you can see this, like if you can see this food processing, right? What you can see here is what I have written from food processing. Here I have written one data, right? So there is this one data here. which you can see that a certain percentage of India's GDP consists of food processing industries, right? That right. So this comes under introduction part. Then it can be called sunrise industry, which I have written here, right? Okay. Then I have written what are the challenges of these industries, why this industry, what are the challenges of this industries, and why this industry is important. Then I have written this PM Kisan Sampada Yojana, right? I am sure that you must have heard about this Prime Minister Kisan Sampada Yojana, Krishi Sampada Yojana, right? This is about food processing. We always study this in prelims portion. This we have to use in mains as well, right? Then you can easily see that I have made one hub and spoke diagram. You must have heard talking toppers that we have made these kind of diagrams, hub and spoke diagram. So this is called hub and spoke diagram, where from PM uh, uh, okay, see, I'm trying to zoom it, but I'm unable to. I don't. I think this is an issue because of PDF, but this will be available to you, so you can later download it and you can check it out, right? So here in PM Kisan Sampada Yojana, I have written various features of it. Then I have written about mega food park and what are the challenges, right? If you can see in the on the right side, on the bottom part, this part, which I am highlighting here, right? So what you can see here is upstream and downstream requirement, supply chain management. These things I have written here, like supply chain requirement, or what are the supply chain requirements, what are the upstream issues, what are the downstream issues, and like that, right? So what you can decipher from this one page note, this is one page note, you can see I have written some introduction, I have written some challenges, I have written upstream and downstream requirements, I have written some schemes, and I have also written here, I think at some place I have also written what are the how can we resolve these challenges. Okay. So as you can see, this is one topic of GS3. I have tried to put in this in one point. This see here you can also see ODOP scheme, one district one product scheme. This is also part of that. Okay. So this is the thing how we make comprehensive notes. As you can see, this is the one topic of GS3. I have covered all the dimensions. I have written government scheme. I have written data, everything. Right. Now the question comes how to make this comprehensive notes. That I will discuss in each section. Now I will discuss with each section that how to make section wise note, what resources to use. So in that I will be covering कि मैंने ये notes बनाए कहाँ से हैं, from where I have made these notes. This second type of note is this, which is called short notes. ठीक है. So पहली चीज तो ये है कि why short notes. See, short notes are very essential because in between prelims and mains, or before suppose 15 days before mains, you won't be having that much time to revise everything from every note which you have made, right? So for last minute revision you have to make some short notes. Now how to make them? They see you, as you can see this picture, I think it is clearly visible, right? So this is about sedition. So I have written some favorable arguments, that sedition के favorable arguments क्या हैं? That NCRB data has case has rose 160% during 2016 to 2019. It helps in combating anti-national activities like Maoist. It protects elected government. Okay. Then it is against contempt of government. It is similar to contempt of court. Right. Then there is argument against argument. There is against argument that is a colonial era law. Second argument is right to freedom of speech and expression is hurted. It hurts democratic foundations. Then UAPA or IPC, there are disrupting word or vocabulary there. This is inconsistent with ICCPR. ICCPR is now there is no time to make short notes. Now you have to make comprehensive notes before prelims. Between prelims and mains, when you would be studying mains 365. So this note I have made from mains 365. Now you all have to read mains 65 between prelims and mains to derive dynamic content or the other content which you do not have. This note I have made from mains 6365, right? So mainly these are issue based, what is happening in the country and what is happening around the world. So these kind of notes are basically dynamic based, or the notes which you are not having, which are mentioned in mains 65. So यही बातें तो बाद में याद आएंगी. Yes, definitely यही बातें बाद में याद आती हैं because you won't be able to remember everything mentioned in your notes. So that's why short notes are essential, right? Okay. So this is the thing, how to get content for these short notes, how to read main 65. As I have mentioned in previous slide also, now you can see the left portion. This is about under trials, right to speedy trial. So if you can remember, then before 4 5 months ago, there was this debate of under trials, that if you are a avid newspaper reader, then you must have known this, that there was a debate about under trials. Honorable President of India has also talked about under trials, that our prisons are overflowing, they are overburdened, right? So this is related to that issue only. So as you can see, some NCRB data is there, reasons are there, what initiatives have been taken: fast track court, e-court, faster scheme, Nalsa judgment, e-prison project. Then I have mentioned one case in Kartar Singh versus State of Punjab. Honorable Supreme Court has mentioned that right to speedy trial is linked to right to life and liberty under Article 21. Okay. What are the issues faced by under trials? I have mentioned that right here. Then on the right side, you can see what is the way forward. So LC means Law Commission has recommended separate law and order and investigation of police, relief to victim. Malimat Commission has recommended just to population ratio has to be increased. Authorized Nyaya Panchayat, use digital infrastructure. Then there is related issue of custodial death, and I have made notes out of it. See, you can see this. So this is how you derive content from main 65. Main 65 is not to read like that you are just reading and reading it, but not able to grasp anything. This way I'm telling you, when you would be reading main 65 between prelims and main 65 now for deriving some content, then this is the best way to read that, to make notes out of it. You would be better able to grasp the content, and you will be better able to take the content to the examination hall, right? Okay. So I talked about, I think there is some issue with this. Okay. So I talked about two things, that is comprehensive notes and short notes. There are this another kind of notes also, which is called micro notes. You must have heard toppers talking about micro notes. So micro notes कब बनाने होते हैं? When is the right time? So micro notes people prepare before attempting mains, like 10 days, 15 days before mains, so that they can deliberately induce some content in their answers, right? I can show you here. I think there was some issue with this slide, but I'll tell you. See, I have written Alandur 100% sewerage treatment. So Alandur is a city is an area where there is 100% sewerage treatment, right? So I have mentioned this because I can always use this as an example in GS1, right? I have mentioned there is one app for women's safety in Delhi, so I have mentioned that. Then this is data: 15 lakh child brides in India, 25% women married before 18. Then there is urban employment scheme for migrants in Kerala. So these are the kind of things which you deliberately try to introduce in your answer, to make your answers, no, to add some value to your answer, to grab that extra point 0.5 or 1 mark, right? So these are the kind of things which topper usually call micro notes. They are made just before mains, so that you can concise your preparation, you can concise your notes, and take the content to the examination hall. As you can see here, for GS3 I prepared these kind of things now. Like for floods, I will give example. If there is question on flood, I will give example of Bionet building is in Netherlands. If there is some question, on irrigation, then I will give example of drip irrigation of Israel, which is called Talia irrigation, soil vertical farming, etc. For water, for micronodes basically have value addition. Yes, see micronodes is basically value addition for current issues only. From for current issues you can make short notes from May 65. For other things also you can make short notes, Shruti. करंट के लिए तो बनाने ही है शॉर्ट नोट्स, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया है, बट फॉर अदर पोर्शंस ऑल्सो इफ़ यू फील कि मुझे इकोनॉमी के शॉर्ट नोट्स बनाने हैं, देन डेफिनेटली यू कैन मेक शॉर्ट नोट्स आउट ऑफ इट, बट अदरवाइज मेनली शॉर्ट नोट्स आर यूजुअली मेड फॉर डायनामिक पोर्शन. So I used to follow Man Ki Baat by Honorable issue. Okay, one second. Can you hear me now? Okay. Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay, I think now you can. Now I think. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, okay, now you can. Okay, great, great, great. So as you can see, that I have written IT plus IT, Indian talent plus information technology is equal to India tomorrow. So these kind of things you can use in your conclusion, in your way forward, in your answers. These are the things which make your answer look very organic. That you have actually read the things and you are pro government. That is the thing. P2G2, pro people good governance. P4, people private public partnership. I think you must have heard our honorable prime minister talking about this. Then 3S, skill scale speed. 4E, employment for everyone everywhere every time. So these kind of things you can always use in your answer, right? So you can collect these kind of things. These kind of things are called micro notes, right? Okay, so first section of our discussion is covered today. Of today's discussion is covered. So second thing, now I'll move. So I think you must have understood how the art of note making works and how to make notes, because I think that is the main question. Everybody talks about note making, short notes, micro notes, and all kind of things. But I think this is the thing which you required, it how to make these notes and when to make, how, where to make, right? So second, now I'll move to section 2, that is section wise note making. How to do section wise note making, right? Okay, so these are the sections which I would be covering today. From GS1 I would be covering art and culture, modern history, society. From GS2 I would be covering governance. From GS3 I would be covering economy, agriculture, internal security and disaster management, right? सारे sections क्यों cover नहीं कर रहा हूँ? बिकॉज जो आपकी सेपरेट GS1 GS2 GS3 की क्लास होगी, GS1 की क्लास वुड बी टेकन बाय शुभतोष, GS2 वुड बी टेकन बाय मी ओनली, and GS3 again would be taken by Shubhatosh, right? And GS4 would be taken by Asad. So in that class comprehensive way में discuss करेंगे, but today I will discuss section wise notes बनाने कैसे, right? Okay, so for art and culture for mains, what you need to do, sources are same as prelims, that fine arts book of NCRT, NCRT 11th class fine arts book and Nitin Singhania, which we have followed for prelims. The sources are same. Now the issue with art and culture is that read so much about art and culture, but how to study or how to make notes for mains, right? तो उसको एग्जाम में लिखना कैसे, लेके कैसे जाना है, दिमाग ही नहीं चलता है आर्ट एंड कल्चर में, राइट? ओके ओके, सो दिस इज द थिंग विच आई वांटेड टू शेयर विद यू गाइज. तो इसमें क्या करना है आर्ट एंड कल्चर में, व्हाट यू नीड टू डू, you need to prepare your notes as per the timelines, right? For example, if you can see here, you need to see here, right? So I have written about Indus Valley, Vedic period, post Vedic period, Mauryan period. So what you can do, you can write one timeline, right? That what was the timeline, that Indus Valley, then Vedic period came, post Vedic period, Mauryan period came, then what happened in Mauryan period, right? So these kind of things you can prepare. Thereafter you need to see on the right side of this. Please see on the right side, right? So what you would be able to see here, I have written about architecture and sculpture, that if some question comes on architecture and sculpture, what can I write? Okay, in architecture and sculpture I can write about rock cut caves, I can write about rock cut temples, I can write about Bhimbetka cave, Badami caves, that is written. And rock cut caves, suppose if rock cut cave is the heading, what can I write in rock cut cave? I can write about Buddhist Jain Ajivikas caves, I can write about Ajanta Ellora, I can write about Elephanta, right? I can then there is a temple style, Nagara, Dravida, Veshara. Then Buddhist Jain, what are the Jain centers? We usually remember Buddhist centers. uh, I could not remember Jain centers much, तो मैंने Jain centers के notes बना लिए. उदयगिरी, खांदीगिरी केव, एलोरा, अहियोल, लॉर्ड बाहुबली, सीतानामसल पेंटिंग, सेंट्रल इंडिया, देवगढ़, खजुराहो, दिलवारा टेम्पल, शत्रुंजय हिल्स. So if the question comes, what are the Jain sites or what are the art and architecture related to Jainism in India, so now I would be better placed to answer those things, because now I have written all the Jain related architecture and sculpture at the same place, at the one place, right? So this is called ki how you can identify one theme and prepare a short note according to it. So this is also short note. Everybody has studied art and culture for their prelims, but now you have to study for mains. For mains, what we have to do, what we have studied for prelim, just we have to make short notes out of it. The best thing you can learn today is this, right? So here what I have done, I have mentioned Indus Valley civilization. Then in modern times I have mentioned monolithic pillars were there, stupas were there, rock cut caves were there, edicts were there, sculptures were there. So suppose I ask you one question, right? What were the what tell me about the architecture, art and architecture during the Mauryan time. I am sure you would be able to identify uh, two three out of them, but you won't be able to of them. Now I have written one example, right? If I have written rock cut cave, then I have written Barabar cave, Nagarjun cave, like that, right? So now you can see how I have prepared short notes out of it. Then after Mauryan times, I have written Shunga, then Kushans, then I have written about Gandhar school, Mathura school, Amravati school, like that. So these kind of short notes which I have prepared, I'm not saying that I have prepared very thoroughly. Yes, this video would be accessible in the later also, but I think there is no network issue from my side because it's working fine. Okay, so this is the QR code, so you can scan and download these kind of short notes and prepare your own as well. Now coming to the first section is modern history. ठीक है, so अपने को हिस्ट्री बनाना है, मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री के नोट्स बनाने हैं. हाउ टू मेक मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री नोट्स. So what you need to do, you can prepare maps, such kind of maps, right? So जो ये map है, if you can see this map is related to fragmented polity in mid 18th century. In 1757, when Mughal era was declining, so at that time there were different kingdoms like Mysore kingdoms, Maratha kingdom, Bengal, Rajputana kingdom, right, like that. So I have plotted that on a map. If some question comes about this, about some fragmented polity in mid 18th century, then I can always draw this map. If you can see, I have prepared some introduction as well, right? You would be better able to see when you download this file, right? Because these are my handwritten notes, so these are not that visible now. So what I have written here is that Indian national movement was a popular multi-class and multi-class movement with an open-ended character. So see, this is a very short and crisp intro which covers three keywords. It was a popular multi-class movement with open-ended character, right? So what you can see here is in introduction I have mentioned three keywords which justifies my answer as well. I have also mentioned that national movement was has been a profound a product of process of nation in making and as an active agent of the process. So these kind of things you can derive from spectrum. I have not used any other resources. This is from spectrum only. So what you need to do for me is from spectrum you can always derive these kind of content. Here I have written some vocabulary like anti-colonial ideology, critique of colonialism, India was a nation in making, like that. So you need to inculcate that vocabulary in your answers while writing answers of GA, right? So here also I have made some conclusions, like in one conclusion it is written that Bipin Chandra has said the period of 1885 to 1905 was the seed time of Indian nationalization, and the seed was sown well and deep. So you can use this conclusion in answering when suppose there is a question that what was the contribution of moderates. So in that conclusion you can write in that answer you can write this line in the conclusion section, right? These kind of things you can practice. You can see in 2 pages only I have written all the introduction and conclusion which I am going to use. Also I have prepared some short diagrams as well. Here you can see some flow charts, some diagrams, that impoverishment of peasantry by British, then zamindars, overburdened peasantry, resort to moneylender, and then exploitation. These kind of things you can always prepare. Here also I have used some maps to prepare. Suppose if you are preparing some questions and some themes like what were the rebellions before 1857, you can always use map and plot them on a map and then inculcate in your answers, because whatever you write in your notes will definitely go in your answers as well, right? These kind of things you can prepare. Then another thing is there is another thing with respect to modern history, that spectrum is sufficient, but for spectrum you have to identify certain themes, that if there is some theme of what were the administrative policies of British era. So you have to see, you have to study those administrative things, like what were the policies, what was the impact on people, and how people tackled what happened after that. So थोड़ा सा एनालिटिकल वे में, राइट? तो जब भी आप स्पेक्ट्रम पढ़ रहे हो प्रीलिम्स के पर्सपेक्टिव से, लाइक आई ऑलवेज इंटीग्रेटेड प्रिपरेशन वाली बात ना, सो प्रीलिम्स के पर्सपेक्टिव से आप उसको न्यूमेरिकल फॉर्मेट में पढ़ते हो, बट फॉर मेंस यू नीड टू बी लिटिल मोर एनालिटिकल, like why that happened, why things changed after Gandhi ji came to India, what things changed, what were the different voices after Gandhi ji came to India, like Marxists were there, socialists were there, women movement were there, peasants were there, trade unions were there, like that. So these kind of things you should interlink when you try to study spectrum, try to analyze it, try to see the things what is being written over there, right? So you need to inculcate that habit while reading. Second thing is governance, right? So governance, the source is any value addition material which you found good, you can use it, and you can develop notes out of it. So syllabus here, I have written some topics of the syllabus, that development process and development industry, the role of NGOs, self-help groups, various groups and association, donors, charities, institutional and that stakeholder. So this is one topic mentioned in our syllabus. Okay, so if you can see these notes, what you can see, I have mentioned one definition of self-help group which is given by NABARD, right? Okay, so you can see I have mentioned one definition for self-help group. Then I have mentioned one data here, if you can see that there are 60 lakh SHGs, and they are mobilizing 6 crore women. So I have mentioned one data. I have mentioned what are the problems with SHGs here in this chart format, right? Then I have mentioned two case studies here. One is Kudumbashree of Kerala and second is Jivika in Bihar, right? So these kind of things I have mentioned here. Then I have mentioned certain solutions also. If you can see here, I have mentioned solutions. These are the solutions, that if there is problem with SHGs, what are the solutions for that? And I have mentioned two case studies as well. If you can see on the right hand side, then I have mentioned some government initiatives for SHGs. So this page is about government initiatives, right? So see, for SHG segments, like I always talk about, make two-page notes. So see how I have covered everything in SHG in these 2 pages: problems, solutions, case studies, government schemes, everything, right? So this way you can make governance notes. Governance में सारे notes ऐसे ही बनाने हैं, कुछ एक्स्ट्रा करना नहीं है. NGO, SHGs, सिटीजन चार्टर, जो भी टॉपिक्स हैं 2-2, 3-3 पेज के, इसी तरह आपको नोट्स बना लेने हैं, कोई ज़्यादा इशू नहीं होगा उसमें. आई थिंक अभी तक चीज़ें ईजी चल रही हैं. हिस्ट्री सेगमेंट सीम्स अ लिटिल डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी इन टर्म्स ऑफ मेंस. मयूरी, इट विल गेट ईजी बिकॉज जब आप प्रीलिम्स के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा पढ़ लोगे तो मेंस में आपको हिस्ट्री डिफिकल्ट नहीं लगेगी. ओके, यस राज, आई विल बी डिस्कसिंग डायमेंशंस फ्रॉम PYQ. जस्ट गिव मी अ मोमेंट, थोड़ा हम आगे बढ़ते हैं, देन आई विल शो कि PYQ से कैसे डायमेंशन पिक करने हैं, राइट? आई होप कि अभी तक क्लियर है ये. और एक वैल्यू एडिशन है, जो इसमें मैंने कुछ डायग्राम्स प्रिपेयर किए थे SHGs के लिए, है ना, कि SHG प्लस फाइनेंस इज लीडिंग टू जॉब्स एंड एंटरप्राइज विच इज़ लीडिंग टू पॉवर्टी रिडक्शन, राइट? सो एक छोटा सा फ्लो चार्ट और डायग्राम मैंने प्रिपेयर कर लिया था, विच आई कुड यूज़ इन माई आंसर्स. Yes, Shruti Singh, yes. मेरे आर्ट एंड कल्चर के नोट्स, दे आर वो 4 pages ओनली बिकॉज आई कुड नॉट गेट दैट मच टाइम, बट आई फाउंड देम रियली हेल्पफुल. मैंने वो आई डिडेंट प्रिपेयर देम दैट आई वुड बी शेयरिंग देम वन डे. लकीली नाउ आई एम शेयरिंग देम, बट जब भी हम लोग तैयारी करते हैं तब हमें पता नहीं होता कि एक दिन ये शेयर करने पड़ेंगे. हम सिर्फ अपने कंफर्ट के हिसाब से बनाते हैं, राइट? सो आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू रफ आइडिया कि आप कैसे बना सकते हैं. दीज आर 2 कमेटी जो मैंने मैंशन किए हैं, जो SHG में आप मैंशन कर सकते हैं, राइट? So that is a thing. So now you'll see कि मैंने modern history cover कर लिया है, right? I have covered modern history, I have covered governance. Now I'll be moving to economy and agriculture, right? So मैं इकोनॉमी और एग्रीकल्चर में आपको पहले ही बता चुका हूँ कि इकोनॉमी और इन इकोनॉमी एग्रीकल्चर हाउ टू प्रिपेयर. Like I have shown you the slide about food processing sector, that how to prepare food processing sector, right? So this is about that only, about food processing sector, which I have already shown you the slide. So likewise you have to prepare agriculture also, agriculture and economy. This way only you have to prepare. There is one more thing for economy, this is that is economic survey and budget. For economic survey and budget, there are lectures, there are free lectures available on YouTube, so you can make notes out of the economic survey and you can use them in your answers, right? So economic survey becomes very important when we talk about economy and agriculture. So economy and agriculture, you can make notes like this way only, which I have just shown you. Another thing about economy and agriculture is you have to draw some graphs. So what you can do, you can prepare some graphs from economic survey, or from I have also shared my notes, so you can prepare some graphs from there also. So you can always draw some graph if there comes a question of poverty, if there comes a question of inequality, then you can always draw one graph and show that this is much is like inequality, this is the gap which we have to fill, like that you can show, right? सो नाउ कमिंग टू इकोनॉमी पोर्शन, जो अभी हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि वी रीड सो मच in economy from prelims perspective, but how to use that economy syllabus or economy portion for mains perspective, right? So as you can see above here, CGST. So what are the taxes involved in CGST? So I have shown them in this on a little portion. एक मैंने हब एंड स्पोक डायग्राम बनाया, और CGST में क्या क्या टैक्स हैं, सेल टैक्स, सर्विस टैक्स, एक्साइज ड्यूटी, like excise on tobacco, these are included in CGST, so I have shown them. Similarly on the right hand side I have written what are the components included in SGST, because if you see, then UPSC has asked this GST question 2-3 times, right? So you can always use this kind of things. Then there is this portion of budget. If you see the syllabus, okay, if you see the syllabus, then in syllabus it is mentioned of main syllabus, it is mentioned about budgeting of the government. In 2021 UPSC asked this question, what are the components of the budget, separately show them. So these are the components of budget: revenue budget, capital budget. We study all of these things for prelims. There is nothing which I am teaching which is the thing which you have not studied. So everything you have studied, just you need to put them on 1 or 2 pages, so that you are better placed to remember and put them in paper. I have drawn one graph here. So these kind of graphs or pie charts which you have collected for your prelims, you can always use them for your mains. Here there is some proposed recommendation of Public Debt Management Agency. So if there comes any question like how to manage public debt, then you can always give this recommendation by 15 Finance Commission, that NK Singh panel has given this recommendation that there should be Public Debt Management Agency for managing the fiscal deficit of the government, right? These kind of things which we study for prelims becomes very useful for our mains. We can put them in recommendations, way forward, conclusion, like that, right? Source for economy, yes, for source for economy for me was Mrunal sir. As I mentioned, for prelims I followed Mrunal sir notes, so you can also follow that. That is the good thing, Mrunal sir's lecture. Standard source. Okay, then there are two topics: disaster management and internal security, right? So I have shared my disaster management and internal security notes as well. You can directly use them. What I have done, for every disaster, suppose there is earthquake, flood, so every disaster I made 1 page note, right? Similarly I did for that portion also, internal security also. Suppose I am talking about cyber security, then for cyber security I have made 2-3 pages notes, right? So these kind of things you can use, you can make notes out of them. Okay, for disaster management, one more thing I will suggest: National Disaster Management Plan 2020. So this is the government document. I think it is a short document. Just go through it, just read it. You will be better placed to think how disaster management thing actually work on ground, right? You can collect some data, some content. You need to prepare notes dimension wise. Like if I'm talking about cyber security, then you need to think what is the data, how much is the loss from cyber security, what are the issues, why we are not able to tackle cyber security issues, what are the recent incidents of cyber cyber attack in our country, how we can solve them, what is the security infrastructure for handling cyber attacks in our country, what is the way forward, what solution can you suggest, cyber dome project, or other kind of things. There is this Budapest convention also, which everybody studies in prelims part, right? So these are called the dimensions of one topic. So if I'm talking about cyber security, I need to study these many dimensions, right? You need to put in case study examples, way forward, and if you are able to draw some maps or diagrams, for example, in question of left wing extremism, you can always draw some map, right? You can prepare these beforehand and you can use them. Source for agriculture, Sneha, you can study from May 65. In May 65 it is available. What I will suggest is, for every topic, what you do, just Google it, you will find content, regarding the topic and make notes out of it. That is the best approach. Okay, so this was about section wise notes making. I think now it's clear how to make section wise notes. Okay, now I'll tell you what is called theme based preparation and how to make notes out of themes, how to identify the themes and how to make notes out of it, right? Okay, so how to identify themes, that is the question. So to identify the themes, there are two things. One is syllabus and second is previous year questions. These are the two keys of success in mains, syllabus and previous year questions, right? So हमें अपने करण अर्जुन ढूंढ लेने हैं और हमारे करण अर्जुन है सिलेबस और पीवाईक्यूज. तो उनसे हम थीम्स आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे. आई शो यू कैसे थीम्स आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं, राइट? ओके, सो इफ यू कैन सी GS1 का मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री का सिलेबस, then it is showing modern Indian history from about middle of 18th century until the present, significant events, personalities, issues, freedom struggle, its various stages, its important contribution from different parts of the country, right? Right, this is the syllabus. And if you can see on the right hand side, then what you can see, I'll show you 2-3 themes, right? Many voices have strengthened and enriched the national movement during Gandhian phase. This is the first question, right? तो द क्वेश्चन इज सेइंग कि गांधीयन मूवमेंट, गांधीयन फेज के टाइम पे बहुत सारी वॉइसेस ने नेशनल मूवमेंट को एनरिच किया था, राइट? दिस इज द वन क्वेश्चन. सेकेंड क्वेश्चन आई शो यू कि क्लैरिफाई हाउ मिडिल 18th सेंचुरी इंडिया वाज बीसेट विद स्पेक्टर ऑफ फ्रेगमेंटेड पॉलिटी, राइट? इफ यू रिमेंबर, जब मैंने आपको दिखाया था इसमें, इफ यू कैन रिमेंबर, आई शोड यू वन मैप कि मिड 18th सेंचुरी में फ्रेगमेंटेड पॉलिटी कैसे थी. देन यू कैन ईजिली यूज दैट मैप हियर. तो आप देख सकते हैं कि एक मिड फ्रेगमेंटेड पॉलिटी वाली एक थीम है जो आप आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं और वो प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं, जैसे मैंने उसके लिए मैप प्रिपेयर कर लिया, ठीक है? अब क्वेश्चन है मैनी वॉइसेस स्ट्रेंथेंड एंड एनरिच्ड नेशनल मूवमेंट ड्यूरिंग गांधीयन फेज. एक तो ये क्वेश्चन, एक तो ये थीम है. आई विल शो यू कि ये थीम यूज कैसे हो रही है, ये थीम के आपको नोट्स कैसे बना लेने हैं, राइट? ठीक है. सो मैंने, इफ यू कैन सी दिस पोर्शन, right? So in this portion I have written all kind of movements which have happened: student movement, women movement, peasants movement, workers movement, business class movement, middle class movement, zamindars movement, Muslim movements, tribals movement. So these are the movements, or these are the different, and along with that there are other forces as well. These are the movements which have happened. So this is one theme. Another theme I'll show you here. What are the new forces which came up during that portion? Marxist, socialist, activism of youth, जैसे जैसे नेहरू जी, ठीक है? ऑल बंगाल स्टूडेंट्स कॉन्फ्रेंस, आई हैव मेंशन दैट. पीजेंट्स, एग्जांपल बारडोली. ट्रेड यूनियन, कास्ट मूवमेंट, रिवोल्यूशनरी मूवमेंट्स, एग्जांपल युगांतर. सी कैसे बहुत क्रिस्प फॉर्मेट में, इन दिस वेरी क्रिस्प फॉर्मेट, इन दिस यू नो it has hardly taken 1/8 of the page, right? I have solved one question. I have written all the dimension of that question. And how I prepared it? By identifying the theme, because I could identify from previous year question that it has asked many voices has strengthened and enriched the national movement during the Gandhian phase. So now I know that this is one theme, that after Gandhiji came to India, many forces have strengthened Indian national movement. Now I did, I made notes out of that forces. That what were the forces? When while I was reading spectrum, I was very conscious of these dimensions and I wrote them at one place, right? Similarly, what were the different kind of movements? If somebody asks you what were the different kind of movements, you can always make such plan, so that if you are going to answer some question, then you can think in these dimensions. I am sure कि if I give you some question to solve about different kind of movements, you would be able to write 3, 4, 5 type of movements, but you won't be able to write these 9 movements. These 9 movements happen, right? So these kind of things where you are not losing any marks. So these kind of things provide you the base where you have very less scope of where you give very less scope to the examiners to cut your marks, right? So these are the kind of things which you can identify, right? Okay. Then there, if you can see the question number 16, discuss the role of women in freedom struggle, especially during Gandhian phase, right? So you can identify one theme here, that UPSC is asking about contribution of women in freedom struggle. In this question, it has asked about during Gandhian phase, but the contribution of women started much before that. Before 1857 itself, women was contributing. During 1857 also women contributed. After 1857 also women contributed, and after independence also women contributed, right? Okay, so these are the, so you can easily identify that the theme is contribution of women in Indian freedom struggle. Here the question is during Gandhian phase only. Now we will study कि women का क्या contribution है throughout freedom struggle. ये एक हमारी एक theme हो गई अब. I'll show you. ठीक है. So what I have written, if you can see here, I have divided this into 4 parts. That what was the contribution of women before 1857, what is the contribution of women between 1857 to 1915 till Gandhiji came, what is the contribution of women from 1915 to 1947, then what is the contribution of women post independence, right? I have written some examples here: Vijayalakshmi Pandit, Anusuya Bai, Bhikaji Kama, right? That like that, right? So if you can see what I have done, I have identified one theme and I have written some points based on those themes, right? Okay. Geographically, no. Geographically, I have used this NCRTs जो राजस्थान मैम के जो short notes होते हैं, I have used them. I'll be telling Shivam. Okay. So now you can easily see कि कैसे मैंने जो रोल था उस रोल ऑफ विमेन था उसका एक नोट बना लिया. I'll show you one another thing. Education. We all study a chapter on education. जो स्पेक्ट्रम में mentioned है, there is this one chapter on education, right? What I have done, I have divided this education into different sections: political, economic, administrative, the annual filtration theory, what was the religious motive. So when Britishers came to India, they have different motive for education: political motive, economic motive, administrative motive, like that, religious motive. So what I have done, I have just written the dimensions here. See, what you can observe from here is I am not writing everything out of a spectrum. I am not writing every sentence. I am just writing dimensions in my notes, right? So you have to prepare these short notes between prelims and mains for modern history. You have, but you can identify the themes beforehand. You can identify certain themes, you can prepare notes out of it, right? So this is the thing which I wanted to show you guys, that how to prepare notes and how to go about it. If you can see the role of women, this is one theme I have mentioned theme here. Then I have mentioned intro as well, that if these themes come, that women were the crusaders and not only just helpers. And conclusion, I have mentioned Gandhiji, that Gandhiji has said that the contribution of women in the Indian national movement was second to none, right? So this was the thing. And so these kind of things you can always mention in your answers, right? Okay, so I have covered 3 topics till now. So I'll see chat for 1 minute. So I'll take a 1 minute break. I'll see chat. Yes, Shruti, I have memorized about, yes. See, when you will be attempting prelims, so definitely you will get to remember many kind of movements, but in mains it becomes difficult to take all those kind of movements to the examination hall. So what I did, I prepared just short notes out of those kind of things so that I could take them to the examination hall. Okay. Okay, how when I made these kind of notes, standard notes. Okay, so these kind of notes, if you are talking about short notes, then short notes can be prepared now also. As I'm telling, comprehensive notes should be prepared now, and short notes after comprehensive notes you can prepare short notes. These are some micro notes which you need to prepare between prelims and mains, because modern history you would be studying for your prelims as well. So during prelims, if you are studying it, just have PYQ, have syllabus in your hand, and try to identify themes. You can write them down in one page like that. You can make now also. Sir, section wise before prelims and theme wise after prelims. See, there is no demarcation that you have to prepare theme wise after prelims. If you can, if you are having time after preparing your comprehensive notes, you would be having time to identify the themes. Also, when you are preparing your comprehensive notes, what is the basis to prepare those comprehensive notes? The basis to prepare those comprehensive notes is themes. You need to put syllabus one side, you need to put PYQs another side, and then make comprehensive notes, right? So मेरी बहुत जेन्युइन एडवाइस है आपको, जब भी आप नोट्स बनाए कोई भी सेक्शन के, आई एम जेन्युइनली सेइंग कि आप जब भी कोई भी सेक्शन के नोट्स बनाए, प्लीज़ सी PYQs, प्लीज़ सी सिलेबस. सिलेबस आपको टॉपिक बता देगा और PYQs आपको बता देंगे कि कितनी डेप्थ कवर करनी है, उसके बाद ही आप नोट्स बनाए, राइट? या आफ्टर 1-2 रीडिंग यू कैन मेक दीज GS नोट्स. Okay, so now I have covered three sections for topic 4 and 5, which is PYQ based preparation and PYQ analysis, how to analyze PYQs. Now I'll be covering it, right? I think this is the slide which was missing. So I was telling कि जो society वाला portion है, right? Once again, कि how to analyze PYQs, right? One second, I think there is some issue. Okay, okay. So the fifth part is how to analyze PYQs, right? So in GS1 there is this topic of society which is named effects of globalization on Indian society, right? Now I'll show you some questions here. In 2020 the question was, is diversity and pluralism in India under threat due to globalization? Justify your answer, right? So just you have to write two dimensions, whether whether it is under threat or not. So favor against दोनों में लिखना है, then you have to conclude. Are we losing our local identity for the global identity? Almost similar kind of question. Then if you see 2018, globalization is generally said to promote cultural homogenization, but due to these cultural specificities appear to be strengthened in Indian society, elucidated. So if you can see from this, then you can these PYQs you can analyze. There is this theme that it is specifically focusing how globalization is threat to Indian society, or how globalization is not a threat to Indian society. So what you can do, you can pick this theme, you can pick you can identify from this syllabus that UPSC is in habit of asking this theme. As you can see, in 2018 also UPSC is asking, 2019 also UPSC is asking, 2020 also UPSC is asking. That means this is one theme, right? So now you have identified theme, now you have analyzed the PYQs. Now you know that you need to cover all the dimensions of globalization. So what you do, go write this topic, effects of globalization in Indian society, make 2-page notes from all the dimensions, like what is the pro dimension, what is the con dimension, what is the new dimension, what is globalization. There must be some other thing. If you see the value addition material, you will come to know that there are many other things which are happening along with globalization. We are moving towards globalization. Is there any impact of COVID on globalization? You need to link that, right? So these kind of things you can analyze from PYQs, and you can make notes out of it. Now you have seen both of the things, that one is about how to utilize PYQs, how to utilize syllabus, and how to identify themes, right? Okay, so I have covered everything which I wanted to cover in these 5 dimensions. There is this 6th dimension which I wanted to discuss with you guys. Well, while I was making the PPT, I got to remember this. So in the end, I have tried to put it. I have used topper copies very extensively. I used to extract content out of it. देखो अपने को चोर बनना है, और वो भी अच्छा वाला चोर बनना है, ठीक है? Content लेने में टॉपर की कॉपी से कोई बुराई नहीं है, ऑब्वियसली उनका सिलेक्शन हो चुका है, हमने को अपना फ़ायदा देखना है, राइट। और अगर फ्रीली अवेलेबल है तो क्यों नहीं चुरा सकते हैं। बट हमें चोर बनना है, लेकिन अच्छा चोर बनना है। ऐसा नहीं है कि टॉपर की कॉपी में कुछ भी मेंशन्ड है और हमें वो चुरा लेना है। जो चीज़ें सूटेबल हैं, जो हम याद रख सकते हैं, जो हमारे काम आ सकती हैं, हम ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं। जो हमारी स्ट्रेंथ से मैच हो रही है वो जहाँ से मिले चुरा लो। ठीक है, तो टॉपर की कॉपी से मैंने बहुत सारा कंटेंट निकाला है, बिकॉज जैसे कि मैंने स्टार्टिंग की स्लाइड में लिखा था, अपने से ज़्यादा मेहनत नहीं होती, और टॉपर की कॉपी से कंटेंट निकालना सबसे इजी वे होता है कंटेंट में वैल्यू ऐड करने का, राइट। ठीक है, तो अच्छे चोर बनेंगे हम, राइट। ओके, सो आई विल शो यू कि अच्छा, ये जो स्लाइड है, ये जो कॉपी है, ये मेरी नहीं है। दिस इज सम टॉपर, ये टॉपर की किसी की स्लाइड है। मैं एक टॉपर की आंसर कॉपी देख रहा था अपने, जब मैं लास्ट ईयर प्रिपेयर कर रहा था मेंस के लिए। सो व्हाट आई मैंने ये देखा कि उन्होंने, वो जो टॉपर हैं, उन्होंने कंक्लूजन में ऐसा मेंशन किया हुआ था दैट देयर इज नीड फॉर सिस्टमेटिक रिफॉर्म रादर देन गिविंग डोल्स लाइक एमएसपी सच एज देन अशोक दिलवाई रिकमेंडेशन। और उन्होंने सी हाउ ब्यूटिफुली शी प्रेजेंटेड। सो व्हाट शी डिड वाज, in conclusion she mentioned some recommendation and it was a 10 marker question, but she was not having enough space to mention 4 or 5 recommendations. So directly she mentioned Ashok Dalwai recommendation and she showed them in this manner, right. Right, so this is the very, a beautiful way of presenting your content. These kind of things you can learn from topper copies, you can extract this kind of content, right. So if you are looking after topper copies, try to extract such kind of content. Try to also, while extracting content, you should be careful that how that topper has used that content and in which context has the topper used that content, right. So that is the best approach. सो दिस इज़ द थिंग विच आई वॉन्टेड टू शो यू कि टॉपर की कॉपी से कैसे हेल्प लेनी है, कहाँ से कंटेंट यूज़ करना है, राइट। सो देर आर टू थिंग्स विच आर द टॉक ऑफ द टाउन, विच जो चलती रहती हैं, कि द फर्स्ट थिंग इज़ कि पहाड़ जैसा सिलेबस है विच इज़ नेवर एंडिंग और कभी भी ख़त्म नहीं होता है, राइट। सो आई विल स्लाइटली डिसएग्री विद दिस। Definitely syllabus is little lengthy, but I think after today's session you would be better able to judge that syllabus is not that lengthy. You can make notes out of it. You can make 2-3 notes for 2-3 pages notes for every part of the syllabus, for every topic of the syllabus, and you can get away with it. After preparing comprehensive notes, you can prepare short notes if you seem that the particular topic requires short notes. For micro notes, you can prepare between prelims and mains, right. Another thing which I wanted to say is that no do not go for making perfect notes in the very first instance. मैंने कोई भी नोट अपने फर्स्ट इंस्टेंस में परफेक्ट नहीं बनाया है। नोट्स एक ऑर्गेनिक वे में इवॉल्व होते हैं। आप पहले एक बेसिक नोट्स तो बनाओ। अभी आप जिस स्टेज पे हो, अभी आप 2024 अभी काफ़ी दूर है, तो पहले एक बेसिक नोट्स बनाओ 2-2 पेज के, राइट। देर आफ्टर जब आप उनको रिवाइज करोगे, जब आपको वैल्यू एडिशन मिलेगा कहीं से, आप उसमें ऐड कर लो, राइट। तो पहाड़ जैसा सिलेबस बिल्कुल भी नहीं है। सिलेबस की एक बाउंड्री है, उस बाउंड्री के अंदर ही अपने को प्रिपेयर करना है, राइट। सेकेंड थिंग इज आउट ऑफ सिलेबस थिंग्स। मैनी टाइम्स पीपल से दैट things in mains comes out of syllabus. So see, there is no out of syllabus thing. UPSC sometimes asks question from the periphery of the syllabus. Suppose if there is some question on geography which is asked from the periphery of the syllabus, suppose UPSC is mentioned location of industries. Now this is a broad topic, right. Obviously you cannot cover everything, but what you can do, you can prepare dimensions of that topic, that what are the factors affecting location of the industries. Based on those factors, if any question comes, you can directly answer it in those dimensions only. So definitely there is no such thing of out of syllabus things. If by chance sometimes UPSC ask 1 or 2 questions which are not directly related to syllabus, then in that case that is a bouncer for everyone, right, and you have to just manage it, right. UPSC is checking just that kind of thing, that how you manage in the pressure kind of situation, right. So there is no need to take extra burden on this. the things which I have just mentioned, the approach which I have told you, how to prepare section wise note, follow that approach, follow the schedule, and I'm sure by the end of this year you would be better placed to cover all of the things, right? Okay. And finally the thing which I always mention, that light lena hai. There is no need to take extreme pressure, there is no need to be overburdened or feel overstressed. Things are I would not say they are pretty easy, but things are relatively easy if someone is there to guide you, to help you. I think after today's session you will be better placed to make notes, because note making is the major challenge before the students, that how to make notes, and what is a comprehensive note, what is short notes, how which section to target for notes making. So for both of these I have given you two things. One, I have given you calendar, follow that. Secondly, now I have told you how to make notes, and how and which section to be targeted for making notes. Now you have all these two things. Apart from these two things, there are two more things: syllabus and PYQs. Please take print out of those before preparing notes. Try to read them, try to analyze them. If you are not analyzing them, then make notes, some basic notes, and after making basic notes, try to read PYQs. So you would be better placed to judge your notes whether you have made a good comprehensive notes or not, right? That is the thing. I think I am clear by now. Please take care of your mental health. वो चीज़ें बिल्कुल लाइट लेनी है. देर इज़ नथिंग टू बी वरीड अपॉन. और ऐसा नहीं है बहुत पहाड़ जैसी चीज़ें नहीं हैं, और ऐसा नहीं है कि आप नहीं कर सकते. इट्स अबाउट बीइंग एवरेज. आपको बहुत एवरेज तरीके से चीज़ें करती रहनी है, धीरे धीरे, ग्रेजुअली. इट्स अबाउट मैराथन. धीरे धीरे करते रहेंगे, एक दिन क्यूमुलेट होगा एंड यू वुड बी एबल टू अचीव दैट, right? So now I'll be taking the questions which you have mentioned in the comment section. So I'll be taking some questions are repetitive, so I'll not be discussing those. Not able to study much due to job and later feels guilty for not. See, Mayuri, there is no need to be feel guilty about it. uh, Along with job, there is some issue while preparing, because I was also in the similar kind of situation. I was preparing along with the job. What you can do, you can divide your you can put 3 or 4 hours daily during the weekdays, and during the weekend you can plan for 10 or 12 hours, right? You can design your calendar accordingly. सर अभी आंसर्स नोट्स खोल के लिखते हैं, इज इट ओके? सर अब आई डिडंट अंडरस्टैंड इट ऋषिका. अभी आंसर्स नोट्स खोल के. सर आर्ट एंड कल्चर के लिए एनसीईआरटी 11th क्लास सफिशिएंट नहीं लग रही, मेंस के लिए प्लीज. हाँ, आई टोल्ड यू ना कि आपको नितिन सिंघानिया क्या और रेफर करना पड़ेगा कुछ कुछ टॉपिक्स के लिए. वीकडे में आप सी, अगर आप रेगुलर एस्पिरेंट हैं तो अभी आप 7-8 घंटे दे सकते हैं. बट अगर आप जॉब के साथ कर रहे हैं तो वीक डे में 3-4 आवर्स और वीकेंड्स में 10 to 11 आवर्स. ओके सर, did you make notes how many after how many readings? So if you are preparing for mains, if you have covered your prelims, then directly you can prepare your mains, directly you can prepare your notes after one reading. Jason, confused between placement in college versus UPSC preparation. So I will suggest in this kind of scenario, first to go for placement, have a secured job, be financially secured, because that will definitely improve your mental health. And when you are in a good mental state, then you are better placed to attempt UPSC as well. So UPSC can be a tiring process. Please don't be in a hurry. First take placement, then decide how to go about it. So micronotes basically have value addition. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay. How to create these dimensions, Raj? See, as I have mentioned you in every topic, that how to identify the dimension, what are the problems associated with them, what are the solutions, what is the case study, what is the example which you can put in out, right? Then you can see what is the way forward, what is the suggestion, is there any committee related to it. So these kind of things you can easily identify. You can look at my notes, you will be able to identify. There is no rocket science in this. Okay, okay. Mrunal, yes, Ayushi, Mrunal sir notes, yes, I followed them. Okay. Short, sir, we need to make short notes for all topics. just the topics which I have mentioned. See, I have covered society, governance, these kind of things. You need to prepare comprehensive notes. Short notes mainly you prepare for dynamic portion or some portion which you evaluate from other sources. I'm facing issue in thinking dimensions. Please advise. See, this is the problem with everybody. So, like I have told you, think in take PYQs, take syllabus, and try to think in dimension because there is no substitute of facing. Because everybody faces issues. Practice is the only key, right? Okay. PMF. No, I have used PMF IAS for environment portion only, not for geography. Okay. Anthropology notes. Okay, Krunal. I have written some very beautiful blogs about anthropology. You can join my channel and please look at that section. Okay. Did you prepare notes from monthly compilations also? No, no. I didn't prepare Sneha notes from monthly compilations. Okay, what you can do, Sneha, for monthly compilation, you can underline them, you can highlight them, and when you are going for second revision of that particular monthly magazine, then you can just read highlighted portion. That will save your time. How Ayushi, how to prepare agriculture? See, I have just discussed what you need to do. There is topic of food processing. Just Google it. You will find 1 or 2 page material easily. Or you can look after main 65. Last year's main 65. You can go and look after it. How to remember dates and timeline history, and see, everybody is in the habit of forgetting the timeline and history. Gradually after 2 3 revisions, Ayushi, it will get clear. Do not feel overburdened by it. Sir, from where you refer PYQ solved answer if you solved? Yes, Tanish. There is this book of there is this, I am forgetting the name. There is this book where they provide last 10 years solved PYQs of GS. So you can order that book online. So I एक broad plan बता दो for 24. Shivam, I have shared the plan yesterday, so you can download that from website. Please discuss about how to revise things like weekly or monthly. Shruti, I have given the plan, so please follow the plan. Okay, we okay. How to schedule revision of monthly? I have discussed it. Due to job not getting sufficient time, but later feels guilty. I have discussed this. Okay, society notes will be Shruti Singh. See, I have not made any comprehensive notes of the society. What I did was I studied from NCRT. So from NCRT, I made some rough notes which are of no use to you, and you would not be happy with them. So I made those notes only. Thereafter, what I did was, this Ad Sarrthi provided some booklets for every topic for regionalism or diversity in society. I referred those booklets only. I didn't made extra notes out of it because if I am getting some ready-made notes made by someone to me, then I can just refer to them. For society, I would recommend to focus more on answer writing because answer writing really helps in society. Sir, how should one remember the nitty-gritty of entire written notes? I'm not able to understand this question. I think I have discussed everything about notes, how to make notes. Can you please reiterate any difference between section wise and theme? See, section wise notes making is that society is a section, governance is a section. Theme wise notes making is you get to identify, suppose in society you get to identify one theme, that UPSC is in habit of asking question about regionalism, that UPSC is in habit of asking question about this dimension of globalization, and that is the theme. I have completed my anthropology lecture. For anthropology, I will discuss separately how to schedule revision. Okay, I discussed. Thank you, Mayuri, for the compliment. Thank you. So please do share your feedback whether you like these kind of sessions or not, because we are. I think this is the first time that we are trying to do these kind of things. We are trying to put in our efforts to the people, and we are trying to really help you out, guys. So if you have any feedback, please try to put in the chat so that I am able to see and we are able to improve, right? Okay. Okay. Okay, so I think I have discussed all of the questions which you have mentioned. So Alina, thank you so much. Thank you, Alina. So tomorrow there will be session by Shubhatosh at 3 p.m. only. So now today we discussed about note making. Tomorrow Shubhatosh will discuss about how to make your answers good. So Shubhatosh will be taking a session, and what should be your answer writing approach and how to approach your answer writing. He will be discussing that in detail in section with section wise, right? Okay, so tomorrow Shubhatosh will be taking a session at the same time. So hope to see you soon, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your support and thank you for joining. I wish you all the very best. Okay. Okay, so you can download the notes from the website. This is the code. So if you want to download these the notes of this class, so you can download by using this QR code, right? Okay. 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 Thank you so much. All the very best.